Britain is the world's oldest imperialist country that controlled the largest empire in the world. It built its wealth through the slave trade and colonialism.
Accumulating wealth that drove the Industrial Revolution
and the development of capitalism in Britain.
An economic system that exploits workers and the environment for profit.
Death to capitalism or death to Mother Earth. Those are our choices.
Today, British monopolies and banks continue extracting resources
from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean, trapping nations in debt and poverty.
These super profits have allowed imperialism to buy off a privileged layer of the working class in Britain.
A well-paid labour aristocracy
whose privileges are ultimately tied to the continued viability of imperialism.
It's this upper layer of the working class who dominate the labour movement,
unions and reformist parliamentary politics,
diverting the workers from revolutionary socialism.
What do we do?
Meanwhile, the majority of the working class faces deepening poverty,
state repression, and racism.
With disabled people, migrants, and Black and Asian workers bearing the brunt.
Imperialism drives global exploitation, trade wars, and military conflicts
as rival imperialist powers compete for dominance.
In Palestine, imperialist Britain backs the Zionist occupation and genocide to protect its regional interests.
We are not just in solidarity with Palestinians as victims and people having genocide waged against them. We are in unconditional support with the right to take up arms and fight back against occupation.
The Revolutionary Communist Group unconditionally supports Palestinian self-determination, including the right to the use of armed struggle.
The RCG supports anti-imperialist movements around the world, such as in Venezuela,
and the growing movement in the Alliance of Sahel states.
We fight against all national oppression, and we fight for the liberation of all people oppressed by imperialism.
We fight against all imperialist wars.
We fight against opportunism, which works to undermine revolutionary movements in Britain in order to preserve imperialism. And we fight to defend the interests of the masses of the working class.
No other government has introduced as many racist immigration laws than the Labour Party. The last Labour government, when they came to power, there was one immigration prison. When they left, there were 12.
The Labour government does what the far right can only dream of doing. In less than a year in power, it has set the record for deportations.
Racism is a tool of imperialist oppression, used to justify imperialist exploitation, war, and to divide the working class within Britain.
Migrants, often forced into precarious labour, face deportation and racist immigration laws.
Black and Asian communities endure systemic discrimination while also facing police brutality
and state-sanctioned murder in prisons and in police custody.
Racist police! Racist police!
These oppressed groups have nothing to gain from imperialism and are key to building a socialist movement in Britain.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Under imperialism, all immigration controls are racist. The RCG recognizes that fighting racism is inseparable from fighting imperialism.
Democratic rights are under attack as the capitalist state grows more repressive. The RCG has historically defended these rights, supporting the Irish Republican movement against the Anti-Irish Prevention of Terrorism Act.
We have to take up the struggle here on behalf of Black people in South Africa, against Thatcher, against Reagan, against the racists. The Black people of South Africa expect it of us.
Throughout our solidarity with Black Africans struggling against apartheid South Africa, we fought against police attempts to silence the anti-apartheid movement.
Today, the fight to defend Palestine is inseparable from the defence of our democratic rights.
The RCG also advocates for prisoners' rights, amplifying their struggles in our newspaper, Fight Racism, Fight Imperialism, which we send to prisoners free of charge.
The attempt by this Labour government, by the Home Secretary, Eva Cooper, to prescribe Palestine action is an attack on the whole movement. We must reject it.
Socialism is the only solution to imperialism, racism, war and exploitation. The working class must smash the capitalist state, create a workers' state, seize the means of production, and democratise the economy.
We look to socialist Cuba where healthcare, education and housing are universal.
Despite the brutal US blockade and constant imperialist aggression.
The participatory democracy central to the Cuban Revolution shows us how socialism is capable of creating the conditions to defeat racism, women's oppression and LGBTQ+ discrimination.
When migrants' rights are under attack, what do we do?
The RCG exists to defend and strengthen the revolutionary trend within the working class in Britain.
As communists, we must work alongside the most oppressed sections of the working class
to build a revolutionary movement that can struggle against opportunism and overthrow the British state.
This new movement must be democratic,
politically educated,
and militant.
This new movement must be internationalist, in alliance with anti-imperialist movements,
national liberation struggles, and communist organisations across the world.
The time to act is now. Join the RCG to fight racism,
fight imperialism,
and fight for socialism.